My name is Angelo Lopez. I am a political cartoonist and a fine artist based in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I have the honor and pleasure today to speak to two wonderful artists who are also good friends, Neela Shukla and Geeta Taneja. Now, I'm speaking to both of them because all three of us have some experience doing artwork for utility boxes. And we also have some experience doing artwork for murals, either for a group mural project for the Sunnyvale Art Club or individual mural projects for schools, private homes, libraries, and other places. So let me tell you a little bit about both of them before I talk. Geeta has a deep passion for doing murals. She's created 6 murals for a school in Sipitang, Malaysia. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Sipitang, Malaysia, yeah.
Okay. She's also taught art at a Fusion Afterschool in Cupertino, California. She's taught Indian art at a middle school in Bosnia.
Yeah.
She's taught I guess during the pandemic, you taught a free virtual art class that was open to individuals all over the world. And you also taught art for underprivileged children in Kharaghpur, India. Is that right?
Kharaghpur, India, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, for Kharaghpur, I gave my name, but unfortunately, the children did not have their, more computers and the material. So the principal agreed, but it didn't work. It didn't materialize.
Okay.
But I started it, but later on, it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. And you're a member of the Fine Arts League of Cupertino and the Sunnyvale Art Club. And you were the distinguished artist for the year 2020 for the city of Cupertino. Neela is a visualizer and makes art that expresses emotion and stories. She's passionate in using color to beautify space. She's inspired by architecture and nature, and she also is a member of the Sunnyvale Art Club. I want to thank both of you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I guess I want to start out by just asking, what is your background and how did you become interested in art?
You're asking Geeta first or Neela first?
Either one of you.
Geeta, you go first.
Okay. I go first. Okay. So, I have been interested in art right from the beginning, right from my childhood. And I really didn't want to do this formal education of doing, bachelor's of arts and master's of arts. And so I just wanted to continue with doing art and the painting. So after my grade 12, I was very keen to join an institution where only art was taught. But both my parents thought that if there is no formal training or formal education to a girl, that is like a thing, some of the parents think. So then probably I will not get a very good husband. Forcefully, they made me do Bachelor's of Arts in Sociology and Bachelor's of Masters in Sociology. But then once I got the admission in Miranda House, I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go only for the art school. Then my father promised that, after my formal education in the evening, I can go to artist Rameshwar Broota in Triveni Kala Sangam in Delhi. And from 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock, I used to be in Triveni Kala Sangam learning art from him. And then my father used to come and pick me up at 8 o'clock. So that was how I started then enjoying my art. And so I was under his guidance for 5 years. And so he's a very famous artist. His name is Rameshwar Broota. And he's still there at Triveni Kala Sangam. I go and meet him. Now he must be around 82 or 83 years old.
Yeah, but the good thing about art is you can be as old as you want and still do painting. Yeah.
And then later on, I always felt that I did not have a formal degree as a handicap, which, I taught in almost 7-8 schools. But wherever I went, I was given one class for the art, from grade 6 to grade 12. but I could never be considered as an art teacher because I didn't have a formal degree.
Ah,
But otherwise, all the schools, I did a lot of artwork there. And then I started, like that was my passion, my obsession. And then I continued and, and
ah,
here I am. So whichever country I went, I was known for my art.
yeah,
Yeah. Even in the schools, like I used to decorate their, whatever their boards, like the backdrop of a stage was decorated by me.
Oh,
Then
cool.
I used to move from one class to the other, doing art with all the children. So that's what. So I just love art. I cannot leave it.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm,
cool.
more of a self-learned artist. So this is what it is.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Neela, how about
Okay,
you?
so I know. So so I'm an architect, planner, and urban designer. So I have got I came to study here. I did my architecture in India, and then I mean, so it's always like I always liked art, but I never thought that I'm an artist. So I'm like from buildings to streets to the city,
Yeah.
and now I'm going back to the small thing. So yeah, my background is completely into like building forms, but deliberately and consciously I started making art just recently. So
Oh,
that's my background.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, for both of you, who are your artist heroes and heroines, and how did these artists influence your work?
So I was impressed by mainly the three artists. One is M.F. Hussain. So when I was in Triveni Kala Sangam for 5 years, so M.F. Hussain at that time was very young. He used to come on a Fiat, and his car was decorated with different art designs. And
Oh,
he used to come and sit in the in the cafe in Triveni Kala Sangam. And as students, we used to go and see him.
oh,
And then I also met him number of times. And I remember every time when I shook hands with him, his hands were, very soft. So
oh,
M.F. Hussain is a very well-known Indian artist who has, like all his paintings are very colored and they're very narrative. Like it has a certain style which you can make out, oh, this is M.F. Hussain. So
oh,
he's internationally known, and his main subjects was Mother Teresa, Ramayana. Then he did Mahabharata, stories on Mahabharata. Like he used to depict that in his paintings. Then about the British Raj. And so there are a lot of paintings, and one of his painting voices was sold for 2.5 million.
oh,
He was so
wow,
famous.
wow. I'll have to look him up.
So unfortunately, in the last stages of his life, because he landed up with a certain controversy, because he used to make these deities, the goddesses of Hinduism, uh, sometimes in a not wearing clothes and in a nude form.
Yeah,
And whereas he showed his own religion ladies wearing all the clothes.
yeah,
So some of the very extremist organizations, like who are the right wing organizations, they protested, and
oh,
he was literally on the verge of getting arrested. So with the result, he then went away to Qatar, and he took the citizenship of Qatar, and then he stayed there till his last days.
yeah. He
But
sounded very brave.
yeah,
He's,
very, very, and his work is all over the world, and he's really great. So he was one of them. And then secondly was B. Prabha. B. Prabha is also an Indian artist from Maharashtra.
oh, okay.
And she did mainly oil on canvas. And she's best known for very graceful figures of mainly ladies, women, who are rural, like they are belonging to the rural India. And all her figures were very allonated, like long figures.
Oh,
And she dominated most of her paintings with one color. Like if she was making 4 ladies, she would have just one color differentiating between the. So her main subject was women. And then she used to have beautiful landscapes at the back, like sometimes showing droughts, sometimes hunger, sometimes homelessness. So each painting had a little meaning behind it, like if a lady is selling fish, so she would show fish in a basket, but then her very simple house is at the back, So she motivated me a lot. I went into the oil paintings because of her.
Yeah.
And the third is naturally Picasso, which is a Cubism style, which everybody knows about him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Picasso too.
Yeah, Picasso. So mainly this one, and then also because B. Prabha was very much inspired by Amrita Shergill, one very famous artist also. She died at a very young age. But her paintings, she herself used to say that I got inspired by Amrita Shergill, the artist. Amrita Shergill died at a very young age, but then she made a lot of paintings during that because of, during her short period of life. So that's what it is. B. Prabha, Emma Fusan, Picasso, Amrita Shergill. These are my inspiring.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
So for me, like I would just say how I got into art. That so when I was in architecture, we had a branch of fine arts there. So we will see all artists paint there. And as Geeta was saying, that we had Hussein come and demonstrate. And I remember he came without the slipper, like he barefoot, because he believed that I should feel the earth. And I remember I have a photograph that I'm in the like there was a huge crowd, and I'm like, I found a space and I'm sitting on the floor, and somebody put a photograph. I'm there in the photograph. So he's demonstrating. So he was so we had a good fine arts division. So I had so for my artist are like, I always saw one of the teachers who was our teacher. Just we had one class of art. But he was a very well known in India, Piraji Sagra. And he always talked about many artists of Western artists. So we would hear him when we talk with him. So I always kind of got exposed to art a lot, but I never thought, because we never had time to do art. So I never thought I would kind of will do art someday. But when I joined Sunnyvale Art Club 5 years ago, 6 years, 5.5 years ago, and I thought, oh, I can do art. So it was so weird that they were there, all exposure was there, but I started doing art just 6 years ago. And I would say my artist, Picasso, when I went to the first time 5-6 years ago in Chicago, the museum of gallery, and there was a Picasso show. I had a dreams in the night, and I just thought, oh my God, this one person can do so much. So I consciously and deliberately started learning about different artists. And then I realized my favorite artist is Picasso and Piraji Sagra. Piraji Sagra is nationally known. And if you Google him, you can find him. And I like about their versatility of different media. They can do different types of art, and both of them. And so I think I'm very, I'm like very impressed or like in awe with when I see their work. And and that keeps me going. Yeah.
Well, I found that when you're in a community of artists, they inspire you and stuff, because being an artist, a lot of times you're alone. But when you're with a lot of other artists and stuff, the fact that you're with other creative people, that it inspires you to be more creative too.
I mean, that's completely true, because as you were saying, that when I never really picked up canvas or paper, brush. Like always, I have always sketched and done pen ink drawings, and it's more like a to help architecture to make drawings. So I was very versatile, because we had to do a lot of sketching. but never like, I mean, it's very different. The painting is different than the sketching and using colors and medium, different mediums. So I definitely got inspired by the local community. I mean, that's funny that like, yeah, I mean, the Sunnyvale Art, I give a lot of credit to Sunnyvale Art Club because of them that I am doing painting now.
Yeah. No, I agree and stuff, but I'm surprised. I didn't realize all three of us love Picasso and stuff, I'm a big Picasso fan too.
Me
So,
too.
yeah. Now, you mentioned.
I know. We just have to, I mean, what he created, I just have to compartmentalize. Like, I don't think about who he was as a person. I think about who he was as an artist. So I really think he amazing. Like his fertile mind. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's I purposely don't know too much about his private life.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah. Now you talked about medium. What are your favorite mediums for both of you? And what's your art process?
For me, oil was the first preference because of Prabha doing oil on canvas. And all said and done with oil, you have a lot of, like the painting has a glow, and I really love oil. But unfortunately, whenever I did this paintings with oil, I was using my fingers as 5 brushes. So sometimes I used to, do shading with my thumb and with my fingers.
Is there something wrong with that? Or?
Yeah, I never wore gloves. So with the results, once I landed up with a, allergy problem because of the chemicals.
Okay.
And then I was in the hospital for about 7 days. And then I realized that, oil, I should avoid it because it's not good for my health. So then I came to, I started using acrylic more rather than oil. Because oil has all said and done a smell, chemical smell. Whereas acrylic is water-based. So it was easy to, do it. But then I always used to think that I must learn more about watercolor. Because watercolor is a very tough medium. So then I started learning the watercolor medium in the form of realism, to make the portraits of my daughter.
Yeah.
So then now I've started enjoying watercolor and acrylic, but I use oil very, not too much, Like oil, I'm avoiding using it because now when I use oil paints, I make sure that I'm wearing gloves. And although now the type of oil paints which has come, it doesn't have that much of reaction as it used to be earlier. But still, I'm mainly in acrylic and watercolor.
Yeah, I've never done oils, but I've heard that there's a richness in oils that you can't
there
get
is a
in
lot of richness.
watercolor.
And the thing is, oil color always gives you time to think. You can change it.
Yeah.
You can change it. You can do according to the way you like it. Whereas acrylic doesn't give you that much of time.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't give you that much of time. And watercolor in any case doesn't give you. So that is one thing very nice about the oil colors I really love is that the shading. The type of shading you get in oil colors, normally I'm not able to get the same type in acrylic. Yeah. So, and the process is opposite. Like we go from dark to the light in oil.
Yeah.
In acrylic, we go from light to dark.
Yeah.
So the process is exactly opposite. Yeah.
Are you the same, Neela? Or?
Yeah, no, I've never touched oil. I've just used acrylic. And recently I just did some watercolor, and but I've realized that it's when you use ink, it becomes like mixed media or something. So I do like mixed media. So I've been trying, because I realized that what I want to get in my painting, or what I want to express, if it doesn't show, then I would use different media to just to do that. So I use acrylic mainly. And watercolor, I've tried some. It's a very new medium for me, but also I use ink now.
Yeah.
So, but along with the acrylics and watercolor.
Yeah. When you try watercolor, maybe try, because cold press paper is different than hot press.
Yes.
You know, and so you might try that. I'm wondering, because I'm a very tight artist, so acrylic is good for me, but I struggle with looseness. For both of you, well, Geeta, for when you do oils, are you more loose with oils?
Yeah. And I didn't get your question.
Yeah, it's just this is just a question that came off the top of my head and stuff. It's just that I do acrylic a lot and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my style is very tight. I'm not very loose. I think for both of you, do you find one medium it's easier to be loose and free, whereas another medium you're more likely to be tight?
I think watercolor is positively very tight. You
Yeah.
like to do it. It depends. Sometimes when I do wet on wet, the flow, the color comes beautiful. Sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
Whereas, in oil, I find you can really play with the colors.
Okay.
You can really play with the colors. You can enjoy. You can change. That is one thing very nice about oil color. Like I sometimes used to do a painting. After 4 months, I used to look back at it because I don't do one painting at a time. I always have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
In the process. So one for oil, one for acrylic, one for watercolor, like this goes on.
Real artist, huh?
I cannot. That's just within me. I cannot just have one painting to do. I have to have, all the 3 mediums with me. But oil, I thoroughly enjoy, but only because of the health problem, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Is that the same with Yuji or Neela? Or?
I think what I feel that the compared to like I used the 2 of them, acrylics and watercolor. Actually, watercolor should be loose, but I haven't yet been able to get there. Like what Geeta is saying, that it's very hard once you mess up, it's hard to go back. So I think for me, acrylic is the one which is very, I can be very loose and just throw paint on it or kind of, because I'm for me, when I started painting, I didn't want to be precise because I've been doing that, and architecture has been my handicap because they do every time straight line. Everything has to be precise. So exactly, I mean, that's why but that's not the right approach, because I started with I just mess it up. And still in art, there is a preciseness and there is I mean, it's like I know now, but so it helps. Like if I really follow my background a little bit, it will help me to make a better art. But so I went from, because I haven't studied like Geeta, or I haven't spent a lot of time with artists. So it's almost like you learn by doing it or learn by watching it. So I have been so I think I would say I'm much better than 5 years or 6 years ago when I started. So and it's there are both ways are fine, looseness or tight. It's like what you want to. I mean, the good artist will do anything and it will be great. So it's like I feel that.
Yeah, I think media doesn't make a difference. It's the impact what you have in the painting, whether it's watercolor or whether it's acrylic or whether it's oil, what you are trying to convey,
There you go. Words of wisdom from both of you. It's so true. It is true. I'm telling you, because the thing is, sometimes the painting, I'm talking about myself. So sometimes it's perfect painting, but I feel that it's like photograph, and I just don't. It's good, but somehow it's not my style. I don't want to, because I do photography. So it's if there is no difference between photograph and art, I feel that why am I spending so much time? And I got the same thing. It's seriously, that's my, so
photography, it's its own art form.
It's art form. It's an art form.
Photography,
You
it's
are
its
right.
own art form.
You are right.
Yeah, so that what one art form is good at, another art form is bad at and stuff, right?
But it's a marvel. I adore people who can completely recreate in the paint with the realistic painter, like artist. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing, but I just don't think it's I gravitate towards for doing that much work. For me, it's like a time. I mean, it's a lot of commitment so it's I feel
Yeah.
very tight. That's very tight for me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also that every artist, their art reflects their personality and what they like. Why do art that you don't like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make it, because I
If
mean the
you
whole
like
point of
it,
art
if
is
you like it,
enjoyment.
you do it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And there's so many
Uh,
different art styles. You can be abstract, you can be cubist, you can be realistic, you can be kind of cartoony. It's just whatever you like doing and stuff.
but don't you think that sometimes you go through phases? Like I feel that because I was very attracted to something, and then I mean now I start liking something else too.
Oh yeah,
So you can,
experimentation and stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
so you can go through phases, because today I say I don't like realistic painter, and then 5 years later you may say, Neela, that you are now doing realistic painting. It's like, but don't tell me that, because if I come back to realistic painting. So I'm
Yeah.
just saying that yes, we reflect ourselves, but I do believe that like sometimes you go through phases.
Oh yeah, but I think as human beings go through phases too. I mean, like if
Yes.
you look at
Yeah,
Picasso,
that's true.
his artwork changed over time.
Yeah, because
Different-
he was
he-
different periods were there. His blue period, rose period. Like
yeah, and
he
each
made
period
paintings
was
according to
great
the
and stuff.
period. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of art forms I haven't tried. Like someday I want to try sculpture. I want to try printmaking. There's some other art forms I want to try, but I just haven't had the time and stuff. But
Exactly.
so for both of you, all three of us have experience doing public art for utility boxes. How was that experience for you both, and what did you love about it? I know you both collaborated on one box and stuff. So what was that like?
I loved it, enjoyed it. So because like I had never ever done the utility box earlier.
Yeah.
I had done murals, but then murals is different because you are working on it individually and painting. I mean, sometimes people might come inside the room and might see, but doing a utility box was entirely a different experience because you're interacting with the people who are walking on the pedestrian crossing,
Sidewalk, right?
then walk, and then the cars used to stop and they used to say, "Oh, hi, how are you? Looking very nice." And I remember, Neela, there was one lady, she says, "Can I give you some money?"
Did you
So,
take the money?
no, we didn't. He said, if you want to give it to Sunnyvale Art Club or somebody.
Oh,
And it was very nice. But only thing is, I find that working near the road, it is tough because sometimes when it's very windy, I used to see the palette, my palette is flying off. Then I used to fly, So that was one experience, but it was nice. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
I think working with Neela also was a big fun.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it makes very, if the two people are working together and they have a mutual understanding, I think then the art project becomes more, you enjoy it more, So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, yeah. So after that one project, I did it alone. One utility box, I did it alone.
Yeah.
And then I did the third one with some other artists.
Oh, okay. Oh, so what was your third one?
Third one is, it is on the West Fremont and near Mary Street.
Oh, okay.
And what we have made is this is a Bay Area where we are all clinging towards the computer.
Yeah.
So we are trying to go away from the computers.
Yeah.
So that is what is like we are trapped to be using the computer, but then we are missing out the nature. So
Yeah.
that was the thing of it. Yeah. So that I did it with another artist called Riya Sharma.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. How about you, Neela? Was it fun for you
Geeta
too?
is a pro. So my my first experience was doing a group project for the Santa Clara County ground. And it was, I think you were part of it. Sunnyvale Art Club created a whole
I'm talking
mural.
about the utility box. How
Yeah.
was
Oh,
that?
okay.
Personal utility box.
Okay. Utility box. Oh, I had the blast. I'm so glad I did with Geeta, because Geeta had all the information and knowledge of
Ah,
working on a large surfaces. But as she said that I really enjoyed working with her, and we had some great experiences. I think when you do art, there is an enjoyment, which is a pleasure, which is comes. But when you share,
oh,
when you like doing it with a teammate, and I don't know, I haven't worked on the other project, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I loved even I'm getting a lot of joy because I get comments from people, or somebody passes by. I know that people passes by and they just turn their head and look at it.
yeah.
So it's just knowing that I'm sharing that with the community gives me a lot of joy and satisfaction.
Yeah, I find when I was doing it, it was very social.
Yes, it is
It
very
was a
social.
very, it was like a lot of times you do art, you're in your room alone.
Yes.
Whereas doing the art for utility box, you're always interacting with people and stuff.
Yes, and also they want to take photo with you, or sometimes,
Yeah,
and
same
that's
thing
kind
with
of a
me. A few
very, I
people
mean,
wanted
I
to.
felt, yeah, and it's like a celebrity status. It's like, oh, they want to take a photo with an artist. So I
Did you
think
get autograph?
it
Did you
was
ask?
kind
Did you
of,
give him your autograph or?
No,
we did
that
we did sign our names there. So, I mean, but
but
it
nobody
was,
asked us.
but
No, okay.
every artist needs this, because it's I, even though I know that it's not about selling, I mean, of course it's great, but as a professional artist or as an amateur artist, I think when they involve you in a city or community, it feels good,
Yeah,
so at
yeah,
least I loved it.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious. I had the opposite problem with you guys. You guys worried about wind. For me, it was the heat and stuff. And so I drank a lot of water. But after I drank a lot of water, I always had to use the bathroom. So I had to make sure that there was a bathroom nearby and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, okay, this is not a question I gave you, but a question that popped in my head. Now, for an artist who is starting their first utility box, what advice would you give them?
I think first advice is to see whether where exactly the any restrooms are nearby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And secondly, I think you have to be very well planned of what you are taking while you're making the utility box. You need to have water, you need to have your paints, umbrella, like make a list of the items required.
yeah,
Because, if you go to the venue and then suddenly you realize, oh my God, I didn't bring this color, I didn't bring this, then you're wasting your time.
yeah,
So going and coming also takes about, some time. By the time you settle, you take out things out from the car and then you start painting. So that you have to be more well planned when you're doing it outside, on the
yeah,
road.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
umbrella
for
is a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that is so true, because I mean, we just two of us, so we can leave, one person can stand there and then come back, or
yeah,
go and come back. But imagine if you are doing alone, you really need to be well planned. Also, just I would say that, like, try to finish it faster, like don't take too long, like
oh,
don't take because the thing is, the momentum is there and you don't show up. I would suggest that not like extend it forever,
oh,
because it's
okay.
a ritual, like you have to go, it's a lot of time commitment. So I would suggest that, like, plan it, the duration, and finish it. Like,
Yeah.
just don't worry about who you have to, because sometimes you can become very perfectionist there, and then you are like, I mean,
That was my
seriously.
problem.
And
See,
it's
because my
never perfect, because it's a different substrate, it's a different lights, it's a different
yeah.
colors become different. So it's like what you are used to painting on a canvas and have control, it's not controllable. Oh, the bird, remember that we were doing, Geeta was doing flowers, apricot, and then there was a bees, It's
Honeybee came. Yeah, a number of times, many
and
times.
it would really think it's a really fruit there, and it could just come. And I mean, we were just having fun with it, but like we really enjoyed like little details. But and then there was a construction going on across the street, so we go
Oh,
early morning and we just wave like we were workers on the street. It was a very interesting experience.
Yeah, I remember drinking tea while sitting on the ground nearby. Like the workers are very tired, might as well have
We have our lunch break, but it was really, I mean,
really fun.
we were very good. So we had our friends, like you came one time. We
oh
had
yeah, I did.
another
Yeah.
friend. We had a lot of friends pop in just to boost. Energy, and also we had a great time.
Angela came, then Andrea came.
Pooja
A
came.
lot of then
Your
Dipti,
daughter came. Then
my daughter Dipti came. Dipti.
Dipti came. Then there
Oh,
was
okay.
Purva came. So
Yeah.
so a lot of people came while we were doing it. So it was really nice that we would share. And so I say that we had a great time. But I can think Geeta has more experience of doing alone. So it's a little different, you know?
You know, the thing
Maybe
that's great about the thing is you guys, that's a busy area. A lot of people are going to see your utility box.
Yeah.
Oh, I interrupted you, Geeta. What were you going to say?
See, the utility box which I made on my own was based on COVID. So it had one side I had shown there's a sick person who's lying on the bed, and there are people praying for his welfare, and there's one person probably crying. So I remember while I was painting, one lady from the car pointed out. She says, "Oh, this particular thing makes me sad. I can feel that what these people are doing for this person." She says, "You managed to show, and I'm sitting in the car, and I can get that what exactly you're trying to show." So that's a very nice compliment. Like without my explaining, she could understand what I'm trying to, convey in my painting. That thing very nice. I felt very nice.
Yeah. Now, you guys also have experience not just with utility boxes, but also with murals and stuff, right? I'm, so for both of you, was it the same joy, or is it a different type of joy doing a mural as opposed to utility box?
The first big mural which I did, it was in 1986, and that was in a club in Orissa, and I was secretary of the ladies club. So when the ladies room had to be decorated, so I opted that, okay, let me make a big, huge mural. Until now, that mural is still there because it's inside the building, and it has survived almost for 30 years now, 1986. And after that, I started enjoying painting on the bigger canvases. Then slowly, then I kept making more and more murals. And when you've talked about Sipitang, actually my husband was a CEO for that factory. And once I had a meeting with all the ladies, and one of the ladies mentioned that there are many children who are, they are the kids with the special needs. And unfortunately, there is no school for them where these children can go. They're only trapped inside the house. So then I realized that there should be, since my husband was a CEO and there was a building available. So we decided that, okay, we start a school for these, kids with the special needs.
Oh, okay.
And once the school started, the building was not very, happy building. But these kids started coming. Then I realized that to make the building more popular so that the people start noticing this building, let me make murals. So I made a mural in at the front wall, one huge mirror, which they could see from far away from the road. And then I made 4 walls inside the school. So I did not take any money. That was my, just because I wanted to do something for these kids with the special needs. And I worked on it for almost 6 months.
Wow.
And
Wow.
in these 6 months, these kids became very friendly with me. They started, in fact, appreciating art. So some of the children who would not even pick up their head, they would pick up their head. They would start doing art with me, like not on the mural, and you could see the changes within 6 months. That
Yeah.
they became more confident. The parents were very happy. And when I left Sipitang, there were 60 children like this. All the 60 children made something for me to say
Oh,
thank you. So they
that's so
stood in the
nice.
line, small little things, whatever they could make, they gave it to me as a gift. So I thoroughly enjoyed making it for them.
It
Thoroughly.
brings life into a boring building, right? It
Yeah,
adds something to your life.
yeah. So then the other schools which were meant for the kids with the special needs. So their director used to come to our school and look at the building, and he used to tell the others that we should also decorate the building and make it more colorful.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
But
a wonderful experience.
unfortunately, that factory has closed forever.
Oh,
So I don't know what has happened to the school and to the people, and so it's not in working anymore. Yeah.
oh, okay. But it still
Mhm.
sounds like a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience. Yeah. Well, because like I used to work sometimes late in the night till 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock alone. Because when the kids
Oh,
are not there, then I could concentrate in making, because I mainly made children. So I
um,
there's a boat, and there are a group of children who are in the boat. There are certain sea animals, something which the children can correlate with.
yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. So,
Mhm.
Neela, when you did your group mural project for the Sunnyvale Art Club, what was that like and stuff?
Oh,
How
it
did you
was
enjoy it?
I had a very small part in it because we had a whole art club members, I think, including you were there. And so I picked up the part which I felt comfortable with. It was a Sunnyvale downtown with a little car.
Oh,
And
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
buildings, some kind of overhangs of the buildings and a car. So, but it was really, I had a great time because I would go morning 2 hours or 3 hours
Yeah.
and work on that, and other members will come. I mean, it was really well planned. The leader, the Penny, and some other Dipti,
Penny and Deepti were the two.
Dipti were the group leaders, and they were working. They were making sure that everything is in plan.
Yeah,
But they
yeah, yeah.
allowed us. They gave enough freedom for us to do things, and so I really, that is the one gave me confidence to even go for utility box painting thing, because
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
I knew that it could be done because it's like it looks so large and it's like overwhelming for the
yeah,
whole wall to paint. But yeah, I had a great time.
yeah.
I went every like maybe a week for 3 hours every day.
I think that's how I met you.
Yes, I met you
I
that
think,
day.
yeah, because during that, when I did that mural, when I helped out and stuff, I think I did it more in the evening, not in the morning. But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I did it and stuff, I got to know a lot of the club members I never knew before. So it was very social as
It
well
was
as,
very social, and I did meet few people, and I became good friends with them there.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
really
mostly saw Kataki and I forgot who else. A few other people who worked at night and stuff. Yeah, I'm curious. For both of you, since you both have done murals and you both have done utility boxes, what's the difference? Is it just size and stuff? Your murals are just, but they're both fun. But are they both basically
I could. Do you want me to say it, or Geeta? Geeta, you
Oh,
want to?
either one, either one.
Yeah, you can say Neela, no problem.
Oh, just I think it's a large difference. There is a
Yeah,
large difference of utility box painting and mural, because it's a utility box painting is like a three-dimensional, and you see from all sides, and it is like it's a temporary. I feel like mural is like very long term,
yeah,
and it has a much more stronger presence because it's a 2D. Like 3D object is it has a presence, but it is part of the environment,
yeah,
while 2D object is real art. So it's like almost like it's there to view it. So
Yeah.
it is so I really think there is a large difference, and the strength of the mural is much more visually than the 3D object. But anyway, that's my I mean,
I think you're right. You're right. Because making a mural, you're able to see from, you know, straight away you have the mural in front of you, and then you can, you know, see it. Whereas utility box, you also have to see from all the directions, whether the people are coming to from the right or left, and you know, how exactly they will view it,
Yeah.
whether we are able to convey the message to them, you know.
Yeah.
and the perception of people when they walk, they just ignore. Sometimes even I know that when you are in rush, you cannot ignore the big mural. Somehow it's almost there in face. While utility box can be like disguised, you are trying to, the whole goal is different, that you are trying to make that box disappear, meaning that you don't want people to see that this is a utility. It has a function. It has a
Yeah.
function, and you are like, it's ugly box, so you are hiding it. While the mural is like it's a art. I mean, it is an art, and you can convey your meaning, your like if you have some idea, and you can, like, it can transform, like what Geeta said, that it can transform your mental state. So that much power mural has rather than utility box. That's what I believe, that it has much more, it's more powerful.
But
Okay.
Angelo, I must give you a compliment. That day, I didn't know where your box is, what you have done. And I was in the car, and Pooja said, "Oh, look at that utility box. It's looking so nice." I said, "Oh, this is Angelo's."
It has its identity.
And the thing is, your box, almost you have done it almost 3 or 4 years back,
Yeah.
but it has the same glow, and it looked as if you have just finished it yesterday.
Oh,
It is
I love
so-
doing it. I love doing it. And the good thing with me is that the 7-Eleven that it's near and stuff, I could use the bathroom whenever I wanted to. That's why I realized when you do a utility box, it's very important to know where a bathroom is.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, because you're painting in the sun, so you're going to drink a lot of water, but at some point you're going to need to use the bathroom and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, for both of you, all three of us are Asian Americans. Both of you are Indian American. How has your Asian heritage and your Indian heritage influenced your art?
See, India, in any case, has a very, very, rich culture.
Yeah.
So we have, if you see, we have dominance of three religions, which is, you will find in, it's mainly three, is the Hinduism, then Buddhism, Jainism is the concerning the Hindu religions. But then we also have Christianity, we also have Islam. So there are, a lot of religions there. So then each, especially the Hindu religion, it depicts a lot of spiritual figures, goddesses, gods. And then that is one thing about the religion. Then secondly, we have, very, very indigenous culture, which is, like paintings from the different provinces, like Warli art. We have, Madhubani art. So they belong to the different villages where the women have been doing it. And that also, brings in, you get influenced by that art. That if they are doing it, I can show that in my own paintings also.
It sounds very rich. It sounds very
much,
rich.
yeah, the richness is there. Because if you see, if you go towards the south, they have a lot of beautiful temples. So sometimes when you see the temples, then you feel like making, any temple in your paintings because of the influence of the culture, So like I do a lot of Buddha paintings where the Buddha is, so I show sometimes his feet, because we give a lot of respect in Indian culture to, like, we touch the feet of when we have to give respect, we touch the feet.
Oh, okay.
So in so many of my paintings, I have, shown the feet, because that is like a respect to the God.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And it's followed even in now, like my grandchildren, when they come to meet us, after some time, they will touch our feet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
Well,
that is
actually, Filipinos have a similar thing, but it's with the forehead, or
No.
when you have a grandpa, you get the blessing. So it's the
Absolutely.
forehead for Filipinos.
Forehead. Here, they bend down and they touch our feet. So,
okay.
but so then you automatically, like when you're making a painting, you get inspired by these, some of the things, and then you try to make it.
Wow. I learned something new. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My children always like a bow, and my mother and all, they make first, they will just touch the feet and put it on their head, meaning that they do to God, grandmother and grandfather for anytime, every day they meet. Their first thing they do that, and so it's almost like the habit. It's like I created, like you create in them, because it's a symbolic. So you symbolically you respect them, basically. Yes, so for me, I would say, so when I started it, Western concept was there in my mind. So it's more like Western concepts are like you imitate, or you imitate the art, like what you get so blown away that you want to capture that. So I started with that, but then I am more and more, my culture is coming out, because as I have become much fluent and my skills are improving it, I'm going back to imaginative art, meaning that the difference between Western and my influence comes from the 4,000 years of history. So all these women in the villages, they never had seen anything. They would depict, they don't have exactly the birds look like bird. They create the minimum tools with the whatever the tool, they may have a hand or finger, and then they create. So I think those kind of things are coming into, it's influencing me now, because as I'm getting more interested in art, and I realized that, oh my God, I started to appreciate the art now than before that art. So I'm kind of including like imaginative art, like how would I transfer. So I think it's definitely it's coming into, like I've been doing a Tree of Life now, the series of Tree of Life, and they are because I love trees. So how will I bring the trees, real trees, but have imaginative, like birds living on all over them? So I've been trying to, it does influence a lot, because even though, I've been here for years and years. And so,
It sounds like as you become more confident as an artist, you find more confidence to experiment and evolve.
Exactly.
Is that right or wrong?
It is true. It is true. Because as you become more fluid and you understand, so you kind of know that you can capture what you want to do it, then you experiment. So so I mean it's definitely I'm bringing my Indian influence more now into painting, and I mean deliberately I bring it now. Before it used to come, but it is like I love color, red color or gold color, but because that one was through culture, but now I deliberately bring that. So I'm definitely influenced.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Well, we have 9 minutes left for this meeting. Let me ask the last question. And that's basically, what are you working on right now? Are there any future art projects you're doing? And are there any art shows or art exhibitions that you'll be at that you want, anybody watching this to know about? So in about 9 minutes, what are you working on?
Yeah, actually, I'm again doing, I started with 2 portraits. One, I have all my 4 grandchildren. They are sitting on a beach and they're just enjoying, sitting on a beach. But then a mistake which I did was, like, I gave them the blank canvas. They were all 4 here. So I said, why don't you just draw whatever you feel like on this canvas? It's a huge, big canvas.
Yeah, yeah.
So each one of them made, somebody made a carrot, somebody made a house, somebody made a whatever they felt like. So I said, now since I have these figures at the back, so I'm going to show all four of them in front.
Oh,
And I made their portraits in front, but now to match the background with the portraits is taking me time. So
oh,
that's one big project and they are looking forward. They don't want me to delete out anything what they have drawn.
oh.
So they're telling, you are going to keep our whatever they have drawn. I said, yes, I am. So that's one thing I'm doing. And secondly, another portrait I'm doing of my daughter Pooja and my son. They both are
Oh,
together.
yeah, yeah.
And then I'm making now more paintings on a smaller canvas, not
Oh,
on the bigger ones,
yeah.
because I got that. So I had my painting in this Mexican school of art
Oh,
and culture. So that was on, like on afterlife.
oh.
So I plan to participate more in the exhibitions.
Okay, good. Where is that? Where is that?
That is in King Street. And today is the last day. So we are going back
Oh,
and collecting the painting.
okay, okay,
Otherwise, they have many other projects where we can participate. So I
okay.
do want to make, but I want to make new paintings so that, I can participate with the new paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, so my mom does embroidery, and I have created a company. I mean, so in COVID time, I started drawing for her, and she would do embroidery. So we have started called Brush Needle. So I'm doing, so now we have a lot of shows participated. Just recently we finished one, and there is a 2 or 3 more coming before holiday. And so because I wanted to show her art, because it's beautiful embroidery. So now I'm doing opposite. I'm now, she got it some printed in India. So I'm going to now do miniature, like a painting to
Oh,
go with the embroidery. So it's more
oh.
like same motif.
So kind of like a pattern?
It's like a mandala
Oh,
and
okay.
parrots and peacocks, but decorative arts, more like a decorative, like stitch by stitch. So I'm
Oh,
just like, I'm just pushing myself to do it till December, to
oh,
have more like so it's called Brush Needle. We have an Etsy store, and I have a Facebook group page, and so I'm kind of doing more. Yeah, but it's a project. So
oh, okay.
hopefully by December, I mean, it's till December. So
Oh,
yeah, so but I'm just enjoying the small little thing. But yeah,
oh, okay.
but I tell you, I would love to do the big mural in my house, one room. I would love to do like interior mural if possible, which I
Oh,
did it when the kids were small. I was like doing some painting, but now, I don't know yet, maybe next year.
you talk to Geeta since she has experience with
I
that.
know
Yeah.
she has
I
done
can help.
interior.
I can help you. I can come and help you.
Yes,
Okay.
that's so good.
Well, I want to thank both of you and stuff for taking the time to talk to me. I learned a lot actually and stuff. And like I was telling Neela earlier and stuff is that every artist has a very interesting story to tell and stuff, and every artist you can learn from because you guys just have insights on stuff. So that's why I have these talks, is just to learn and stuff, and just because I'm curious about how you guys think about your art and stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
giving
much.
us time.
Yeah,
Okay.
giving us time, devoting time. Thank you. You're really a very, very good friend. Thank you so much. God bless you.